Yo, what's good, people? Izzy Max here, back again. It's been a while since I've been recording, been super busy, but I'm joined by Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing well, ready to watch a butterfly face what looks like half of a Cartana with a Dr. Eggman mustache.
Heck yeah. So if you realize this isn't me or Dan playing in this match, this is actually the finals, as you see up there in the title. It's the MDL Season 3 finals. And our two finalists were Matt and Ryan. So, but Dan, before we go into these games, what are kind of your expectations here? What are you expecting to see? I have kind of watched this a little bit, so go ahead and give me like your prediction.
I have not, but I've had Matt send me his paste, and I helped Ryan prep ahead of time. So, what Ryan is most afraid of this set, and what he believed Matt was going to bring coming into it, and Matt did end up bringing, was a physical Celesteela set, because Max Flutterby looks really good into a lot of his team, and that also gives it access to Max Quake, which a lot of things it doesn't have. And Ryan's team really struggles against physical Steela, so I'm expecting just sort of a back and forth around can Matt get the Steela positioned and set up, and what is Ryan's potential counterplay to it. But what are your thoughts going into the match ahead of time, except for the spoilers?
Well, going into it, when I seen that Ryan dropped the Blaziken for the playoff transaction, I knew that he would have a hard time against, well, Matt, if he made it there, because outside of the Blaziken, his answers to the Celesteela really come down to the Raichu and just solid chip, or the Raikou and solid chip. But since Matt does have the Raichu, it's not the
I hate
best.
this already.
Yeah, it's not the best answer in the world.
Yeah.
But one thing, I was helping Ryan just do some mock matches before the game, and one thing I discovered was actually offensive Grimmsnarl kind of went in a little bit. So, spoilers free, it is an offensive Grimmsnarl. I mean, it's Life Orb here on the
Well,
screen.
it is Life Orb. Yeah. Ryan was expecting AV physical Celesteela. I do also know that Azumarill can two-shot a Max Celesteela in the rain, so
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So rain was probably something he wanted to have set, so Matt not having rain is really good for him.
Yeah, and that's actually something that when he sent me a pace that he thought Matt would bring, not seeing the rain mode, I guarantee you kind of threw him off. He was prepping pretty hard for it. He also did not expect Diggersby to even show up, which is kind of interesting. And other than that, I think Ryan kind of nailed it. I know he did have some counterplay to the Grimmsnarl. I don't know how much he had for the for the offensive Grimmsnarl, but he was expecting like a scarf, sock, the sash on the Raichu. Papaya on the Crobat is interesting, and the one tech that Ryan actually has is that Slurpuff. It is Sweet Veil, but we'll get into the match and we'll actually be able to see Matt's side of the moves. The Crobat actually doesn't have Hypnosis, which I thought was kind of an interesting kind of bait. But what do you think about these teams that we see currently?
I think in general it makes a lot of sense. I know the Papaya, which is that's the Psychic Resist berry, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, right? So Matt considered something different there, because in Ryan's post commentary last match when they played in the regular season, Ryan mentioned wanting to run no terrain Indeedee with Fake Out, so he almost didn't run the Papaya, but he needed to survive one expanding force in case he did run Psychic Terrain sets.
Right, and we see the lead, and then of course we do not see the Psychic Terrain.
The Psychic Terrain, so it is that set.
And the problem here, Ryan has to guess if this is actually offensive Grimmsnarl or not. Because if it is, you're not faking it out. And you can't really fake out Crobat. So not having the Psychic Terrain here actually kind of hurts. But this is already a bad spot. I did these calcs, and the max Power Whip will KO most Marowaks.
Right.
But here we are going to see a max. Of course, this is probably going to be the Marowak. What do you think of the turn 1 max here, though, from Ryan?
It feels aggressive. Like, I understand it in the face of what you're seeing out of Matt, but Matt also knows you have an Indeedee, so this Grimmsnarl is likely not going to be a variant that includes any sort of prankster shenanigans, so it is probably going to be an offensive Grimmsnarl just based on the fact that your NDD exists.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, I'm not sure I love this max, and I'm also not sure I love that protect out of the Grimmsnarl.
I'm not either. Granted, it could have been like a Ironhead coming out from the Marowak, not really caring about the Crobat since, you know, you're not really going to Hypnosis something that's going to follow me. So he knew he at least had one turn, and setting that terrain at least lets it kind of go away. So not a lot of information Ryan grabbed from that Crobat, which I think was actually kind of big for the next game, because he still doesn't know what it does. It just taunted the Indeedee. But coming out is the Diggersby, so this Marowak is really in a rough spot, and there's not really much the Indeedee can really do here to help. I mean, it's taunted, and you can't really do damage to the Grimmsnarl unless you're carrying Dazzling Gleam. So I think just because Matt lost a Mon, I still think he's in the positive position here. What are your thoughts?
That's sort of your typical standard sack lead, where you have everything you want to go down to position into a better setup. Basically, you get one turn of whatever you want out of that, and then you want to go down. So I think if he had gone with the Steel Spike into the Grimmsnarl, he would be in better position, because if that Crobat's still alive, I actually like Ryan's position a bit more, although I do know that with Screech at -2 defense on a Marowak, a max Power Whip will KO it.
Yep. Now, what do you feel about this switch? Because I'm not necessarily a fan of it.
So I think we have to look at what the other options on the Indeedee were, right?
Let it die.
Yeah, you could let it die, but he's not going to attack it.
I mean,
like
fair.
he just attacks around it, because it just sits there and does nothing now. Because if he left the Indeedee in, even based on this play, let's say he left the Indeedee in, right? Then you launch an Expanding Force outside of Psychic terrain into...
Did it have Expanding Force?
I don't even know if it had an offensive move.
It had to have. It couldn't have been just Follow Me.
Yeah, it might have been Psychic.
Because, I get it. You're taunted, so you're not probably going to target into that slot. But if you have an offensive move, launch it. Because the Marowak just died for nothing, and you did a turn of not doing any damage. You know?
Yeah, but now you're not taunted anymore, which I think that's what he's going for. He's obviously in a very bad position for the game at that point.
Oh, 100%.
I think I understand the play that he went for here, because I don't think that Indeedee was going to be doing anything, and this way you get the Indeedee reset to actually give you the ability to do, literally anything.
Yeah, I get that. And again, I've already watched this, so I kind of know how this game plays out damage-wise. So, I don't know. Seeing a turn off, I just think there's too much switching here.
This switch I'm not a fan of. Here, no. I think you follow me and just try to KO the Diggersby and see what you can survive.
Yeah, I don't understand this protect, because you're basically letting something go down here. And if anything's going to go down, I would have much rather have been the Indeedee. Yeah, because now your Azumarill is basically useless. It's the slowest thing on the field, I believe so. So
Azumarill's base speed is
not good. Yeah, so I just don't like a lot of the switching that happened here in game one, because I mean, you're still staring down a max Grimmsnarl, and
the first one I liked. The second one I don't like much at all.
Yeah. So this is it's not a good spot.
What do you think of Matt running G-Max Snooze instead of Max Darkness, like the Gigantamax Grimmsnarl? Because he is citing Misty Terrain so much that, I don't know, I think the effect on Darkness is actually going to be better than the effect on Snooze in most positions.
Yeah, granted, I don't really think it matters, because Matt brought a very physically offensive team. So, why not have an effect? If you're not bringing a especially offensive Mon, there's no reason to drop the special defenses.
Yeah, I guess nothing actually does
Yeah.
special damage.
But that earthquake here is huge. Like I said, this is kind of why I didn't like the first protect, because you could at least get some damage off on the Diggersby. It doesn't have the best special defense in the world. So now you're just kind of sitting here, you know, not really doing much of anything at this point.
Yeah, so there's no way that Ryan comes back at this game, like,
No.
unless he chains like 18 flinches.
I mean, that's the only way. And at this point, I still don't necessarily think it would happen. And here's the play where I think that just firing off maybe a psychic into the Diggersby is actually going to be decently huge. Because, I mean, you did see the Stone Edge. So we're going to see the Air Slash here come out. And it does good damage. So now we're in range of actually KOing maybe from a Fiery Wrath.
No,
and then,
I
of
think,
course,
I
that
think,
crit sucked.
yeah, I think his play there is to just do nothing but Fiery Wraths and just hope for flinches.
Well, I mean, he did get the flinch on
I
the
mean, he
Grim
gets
Snarl,
the first flinch.
so...
Okay. See if you can get a bunch more.
Yeah, and the crit there really guarantees, like, seals it. But then when you see this damage come off, because this is a +1 Moltres, I do think, even if it's just Psychic or just single target Expanding Force, I think it might actually have killed. Because that's still double target. Granted, this is +1 Moltres, and it did miss.
I don't know. Okay, with that miss there, he's got a shot.
There's going to have to be a lot go right, because we did already see the Celesteela is in the back, and it's already AV.
In the back.
Yeah.
At +1, he needed, what, like 2 flinches in a row?
Yeah, and boom.
Oh, and he doesn't KO the Grimstyle. Never mind.
Yep.
Unless the flinch is right here.
No.
One time?
No. So, and it was a clean match. There wasn't any RNG. I do just believe Ryan kind of, I would even say misplayed. Not even he got outplayed. I think he misplayed.
Yeah, the first switch I think is defensible. That second switch I do think was pretty objectively a bad play. Like the protect and switch into the Azumarill, I don't like at all. Like,
yeah,
I
if
really
you want to go into
Azumarill,
just switch into Azumarill. The double switch doesn't do anything. I don't know if he was expecting like the Power Whip, the Max Grass, but like I don't know. I don't know what you're expecting. The only double switch I could see is if you actually led with the Azumarill and then switched out into the Moltres expecting the Max Grass. But the other way around, that's just too much damage on that Azumarill.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the Slurpuff set because
that's my set. That is the one thing I gave him.
It's gonna have Thunderbolt on it, unless you went crazy and said we're gonna run Thunder because we expect him to go Rain Mode, and then you feel really sad.
Yeah, so it's
you
sweet.
Feel really sad.
It's Sweet Veil, Thunder. Oh, I don't even know what we put on it. Thunder, Protect,
Dazzling Gleam.
No, I don't think it has an attacking move.
It definitely needs. No, Thunder's an attacking move.
Oh, that's the. I'm sorry, another attacking move. That's the only one it has.
Spring
I think
Shot?
I think it's Charm. Charm and something.
What triggers Unburden?
No, it's Sweet Veil.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, for the sleeps.
I don't like it.
I don't either. Granted, he doesn't know that Crobat doesn't have Hypnosis yet because it did just go down in one turn.
Okay, I don't think you run Hypnosis that often on Crobat.
Oh, Matt has.
Yeah, but into this team, I don't think you run Hypnosis Crobat.
It actually did a lot because Ryan's team wants to max as quick as possible and do as much damage as possible most times. So if you sleep the Moltres, it's pretty much done. If you sleep the Marowak, it's done. And that Crobat is the fastest thing in this game. So, I mean, yeah, it's not bad. I don't know why Ryan's bringing it here. Because
what is this?
Yeah, I don't know. This was also
Oh,
the
well, gee,
counter.
Matt, congratulations on winning the MDL Season 3. No,
Yeah,
I don't know how this game's gonna go,
this
but this
it's
is
not a
not.
good lead. The only reason that the biggest reason that two fairies were brought is for the dreadnought, just in case. And not seeing it or the rain mode, I don't think I would have brought Slurpuff at all.
The Ludicolo,
What?
right?
Oh,
Dreadnought?
the rain mode.
Okay.
Yeah, what did I say?
Dreadnought. You've been playing too much Unite.
Oh, maybe maybe, but also this turn 1 Max, I am not a huge fan of. Yeah, it's an
Okay,
offensive
so
Grimmsnarl. You have to know it has Power Whip.
you yeah, because he used Max Overgrowth last game.
Yeah. So I don't like this at all. And
Yeah,
Slurpuff is not fast enough, and I don't know why you're protecting it here.
something really bad's about to happen. Okay, never mind. Something moderately bad's about to happen.
I mean,
Never mind.
and that's another reason. Like, you've already seen the taunt. Like, I just don't think Slurpuff was the right play here.
Never punished. Never punished.
No. I still don't like the turn 1 max, because if he just maxed the Grimmsnarl and it's for some reason faster than the Azumarill, which it should have been, I do think Azumarill just kind of dies.
Yeah, Screech and Power Whip.
Yeah,
But
so
never punished, I guess.
no. And
Okay, Ryan's actually in this game. Like, this Max Grimmstyle is still bad news. I mean, Screech Power Whip is still not great.
no, and knowing that you have the speed disadvantage, another reason why I just don't like this max. Granted, Ryan's max options really had no answer to Grimmsnarl, because if you look at his team, it's Azumarill, Marowak, and Moltres. All three of those probably get one shot by this thing.
Yes.
And like,
Matt
good
did send me
good prep for Matt, because he did
Yeah.
realize it.
Matt did send me some calcs before, and they literally all do get one shot by it.
So
At -2 defense.
yeah,
If they're Dynamax, yeah. Okay, well.
yeah,
Azu's
and
dead.
this is where things go really wrong really fast. Granted, he hit a Thunder, but
Okay.
it's a Slurpuff with no
I've
investment.
never
so,
seen that animation.
Yeah, it's not going to do too much. He does get the paralysis, but who cares? The Crobat's already moved. And here's just the obliteration.
Yep. Okay. There's no way out.
No. And I don't want to, because I've already watched it, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall here. Your max option only got one move, and the max on the other side literally OHKOs all your offensive mons.
Yeah.
It's not a good spot. Yeah.
I would have liked to see. I don't know, not that Slurpuff set.
No, and that's why, again, I don't really understand why he brought it here. A lead that I actually would have liked to see would have been the, like maybe a Marowak Azumarill, to where you're kind of guessing on what's maxing and you don't max until he does. But I don't know. This is a hard spot. Again, Ryan's team's not really built very well to deal with a Max Grimmsnarl, because it is a 130 attack stat, which is huge.
Yeah. It might even be no 130 sounds right.
I think it's 130, maybe 135, but like,
Yeah.
you're not doing much of anything to it in this position, and these protects. Granted, the charm is huge. These protects aren't really doing a whole lot of anything.
The charm is huge. The charm should have come last turn.
Yes. Yeah. The thundering.
Actually, charm last turn, and I think he's in it.
Yeah, thundering. The Crobat probably wasn't the best idea. Just because if he's not clicking Hypnosis now, he's not going to. And he just taunted you, so you need to get as much utility off as possible. And you already know the Slurpuff isn't doing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
It was mainly there to just counter the Pelipper.
Yeah, this is...
I mean, you just seen the team preview. The other max option is a Haxorus. Like, this Grimmsnarl just kind of went unchecked, and it's kind of unfortunate.
I'm surprised he didn't go with the Max Raikou option. I know in early iterations there was some consideration for it, and I still think, like, I'm still on the Max Raikou chain.
The problem was that Raichu.
Yeah.
And then, I don't like this switch. There's another really bad switch.
Okay. I don't think it mattered.
Letting your Marowak go down on the last turn of Max?
Yeah, I guess I'd rather keep the Moltres up, but I mean,
granted, we just set Tailwind, so I don't think it even
I
matters
don't
at
think
all.
that mattered.
But I think I don't even think he's running Spirit Break, so it's less powerful. But now you just have a super slow Marowak with something that has Power Whip, and he's ignoring the Slurpuff here.
He could miss like 6 Power Whips.
I mean, I guess.
Maybe that's the out.
I mean, he's just going for Darkest Lariat because you ignore all stat changes, which I don't know why he's screeching the Marowak in this case.
Man, Matt is bad at the game confirmed.
Wait a minute. Crobat's slower.
Yeah. I still don't know why he's screeching it.
For the next Mon to come in.
I guess, yeah. But
yeah.
It's at 50%.
I mean, he's not worried about the Slurpuff at all, and there's a Mystic Thunder.
Oh, yeah, you guys deserve that.
Again, it was only there for the rain mode, so I don't know why. Yeah. Again, I don't know why it hit the field. But these next couple Mons are... he just clicks Earthquake twice.
Okay, I was like, does he decide to win with Diggersby, or does he go out on a shield with Celesteela?
No, there's no way. Two Earthquakes and the game's over, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. He could send out Steela.
Fair. Well, Marowak has Fire Punch, and, it's Screeched. So, it literally doesn't matter.
It dies, yeah. It dies super hard.
And then, this is the last turn of Taunt, so... Are we going to see Crobat actually claim a kill? I don't think it kills the Slurpuff. Slurpuff is still decently bulky.
But after Earthquake damage, it might.
Oh, fair. Yeah, it is paralyzed, so it is slower.
Is Crobat going to get the last kill of the season?
Probably. Man, I don't know. I don't know if Matt just prepped incredibly well. Ryan didn't have the tools to do what he needed, or there was just some misplays with some switching. But Matt played clean. There wasn't a mistake from Matt at all. Granted, I don't think he had... Oh, well, there's the paralysis.
Nope, it's not getting the last kill of the season.
Oh, another Thunder miss. What I was saying, granted, I don't think there was room for Matt to make an error. But I could be very wrong on that.
I mean, his plays just felt really straightforward the whole time.
Yeah.
There's nothing where I'm like, well, he could have done this. It's like, no, you obviously, like, maybe move selection one turn or another. Maybe a little bit of targeting questions, but like...
Ooh, Crobat is going to kill it.
Crobat's going to kill it. Crobat got the last kill of the season.
Look at that. But, so that's the game. Give me your rundown on this one.
So overall, I mean, the Steela never hit the field. So...
Yep.
That's one thing, but prepping around Raichu Steela is tricky to do, and it really opens up a lot of the rest of Matt's team, knowing that people have to figure out a way to beat that. But with that being said, I'm not a huge fan of the way Ryan chose to attack the matchup. More with the play than with the team. I think the team had some potential there, but I don't know. The first switch I liked. I know you're not a fan of, but the rest of the switches just felt like gratuitously giving free attacks to an opponent.
Yeah.
I know you're stalling Max, but like if you stall Max by taking 50% chip on all of your Mons, did you really stall Max?
Yeah, exactly. And then just you're not faster than what Matt has. Especially in that second game, he just set tailwind and just said, all right, full offense, let's go. And I do think a big part of kind of the mishap in game 2 was just Ryan not knowing what kind of Crobat set it was. Because I think if he did know that it didn't have Hypnosis, I would like to believe Slurpuff would have never hit the field.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Slurpuff set. Like Charm, I like, but I don't know. In general, I think indeed he should have been Psychic Surge and have Psychic Seed and Burn and Slurpuff if you're going to be going for that stuff. It felt like he was being a little too cute by half. Like he was trying to do too much instead of relying on what some of his stronger options are.
I would have actually liked to have seen the Registeel. I kind of, in prep with him, I was saying, Registeel might be pretty decent. He just didn't like the calcs on it, so he didn't bring it, which is fair. But looking at what Matt brought, not bringing that rain mode, Registeel kind of went in a little bit.
Yeah, Registeel would have been a nice bring, but I don't know the calcs for that into rain mode.
I don't either. Yeah. No, it straight up dies to like a max geyser in rain.
Yeah, I think it's probably not great. So I understand not bringing it, but.
But I don't know. Maybe Max Haxorus with a Steel Spike. Granted, now you got to go around the Tailwind, but there was just a lot of things that I don't like the matchup on paper. So seeing this outcome doesn't surprise me.
No, it was a bad matchup on paper.
But I do think it could have been closer with some cleaner plays, but I don't think Ryan really could have done anything different. I do think this was kind of a losing battle, even in some of the mock games that we had. The only clean wins he got off me, I say clean, were when he kind of haxed me out a little bit with like some Fiery Wrath flinches or just some like cutesy stuff like that. So, and I don't play like Matt. My play style is very different. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Ryan could have really done anything different team-wise. So the outcome is kind of this, and I know people are going to look at this be like, oh, there's like 10 minutes left in this video. It is literally just him sitting on one screen, so yeah.
I think it's so when we're watching it, if we see the bar at the bottom, we think we're going to be going to a game 3 like Ryan hacks it out somewhere, and then Matt's just sitting in the back like chuckling to himself like, these poor fools.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Granted, I was really rooting for Ryan. I didn't want to see Matt take 2 seasons back to back, but granted, his team this season was cracked. I'm not gonna be beat around the bush with it. The team that he composed this season was absolutely insane. Other than you and Dina cutting games really, really close with Matt. Anybody in the blue division outside of me, I don't think had a good matchup into Matt, just based on how we drafted our teams. And then Ryan had a good matchup against me, so that's just kind of how the cookie crumbled. But congrats to Matt for winning the second season. I don't like it, but I mean, Matt's really, really good. So, I mean, I expect him in playoffs anyway, and just taking a win here. It fits the bill, but I still don't have to like it.
Yeah, that's fair. I know my personal goal was to win this season, so I came a little short on that, but I'm still new to this whole draft thing. I'm getting better, so I'm coming for Matt next turn. It's always good to have a Thanos-like villain to come after.
Oh, yes, for sure. And for anybody
he's got the same hairstyle.
None. Anyway, for the people here who still sticking around, who plan or are thinking about participating in season 3 or season 4, we do have things in the works. I do already have the coaching lineup kind of thought out, so we'll be getting more information about that to you guys in the next probably week or so. So be looking out for that. But anyway, GG to Matt. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
No, congratulations everyone on a successful season, and I am looking forward to running it back in a few weeks.
Yep, so without further ado, y'all, we will see you in the next one. Peace.